What's going on, people? Welcome back to Dynamic Entry. It is your guy, the professional henchman, here in 2026 to admit something to you. I missed out. 2025 was a spectacular year when it comes to gaming, and there was a treasure trove of amazing titles throughout. I mean, even the Game Awards was super contentious, if only because Expedition took everything. No, but seriously, the reason it was just because there were so many great titles on the lineup. There were so many amazing actors and writers and directors and game directors and devs that just worked on so many amazing things, and I didn't really play any of them, you know? I was looking at that, like, did I just not want to spend the money? Was I not trying anything? I loved Dispatch, right? I played one new game, but why didn't I dive in? And then I looked at my PlayStation, and I looked at my backlog, and I realized I hadn't touched any of that either because I've been only playing my comfort games. And I gotta say, isn't that kind of nice, right? Don't you love a comfort game? Something that you can start up and not really put too much thought behind. You're gonna just go and enjoy the vibe. Now, for some folks, that might be something closer to Stardew Valley or, maybe Minecraft. For other folks, it could be something like those arcade-style rhythm games, which are awesome, a lot of fun. But for me, my three comfort games are a little weird in comparison to those. So today, I'd like to talk to you about three games that I'm probably going to play forever because I love them so much. Let's get into it. So, the first of those comfort games is one that I've played for the past few years pretty religiously, I would say. I tend to uninstall it but then reinstall it, and I wouldn't say it's like because I don't complete runs. Actually, it's the exact opposite. It's like you do a run and you're like, man, that was great. And you try to get away from it, and then it's just staring at you again from behind the window and, making you come back. And for me, that first game would be Baldur's Gate 3. I know. I talk about that game a lot and loving it, but I've never actually talked about it on the channel. So I'm going to bring that up here today. Baldur's Gate 3 first came out for early access a few years ago, and since then has had quite the release. Sure, it was a little rocky in the beginning, but once the full game actually came out later that September, I want to say, it was astronomical. I mean, for me, I grew up in the era of those old TTRPGs and those electronic versions of them as well too. I was around when Baldur's Gate 1 and 2 were popular with most of the older folks I worked with, and I gotta admit, I'm a big KOTOR fan too, so there's something about the style itself that I really love. But Baldur's Gate 3, for me, is what Baldur's Gate 1 is for a lot of those people, if that makes sense. It's just so succinctly perfect to the idea of tabletop management and transitioning it over to a digital setting for me that I adore it so very much. As someone who has been in a few D&D campaigns and has lost most of those campaigns to the most notorious BBEG ever, scheduling, I gotta say Baldur's Gate 3 is a refreshing breath of fresh air for that, because I just get an opportunity to dive into Dungeons and Dragons in a very intimate and personal way with my own character. It's in the Forgotten Realms setting, so obviously there's some limitations based on that, but I'm a big fan of the setting. I tend to play Drow in most cases, so no skin off my back. It's kind of a great game for that. Outside of it, however, I think the other thing that really draws me in specifically for Baldur's Gate 3 is actually the community. Seems a little odd, I know, but I would say for the most part, folks are overwhelmingly positive. And the voice actors themselves have gone on to do a ton of live shows, interviews, guest spots, purely off of the joy that they bring into the product and how everybody else responds to it. It's great and electric, man. I mean, I still follow Neil Newbon pretty religiously because of it, because it's just a delight to see those interactions and what Astarion as a character means for people and stuff like that. But if I had to iron out one specific thing that makes BG3 a comfort game for me, it would be variety. Variety, variety, variety. The ability to play the game in a unique way every time is fantastic. And whether I decide to go in as a wizard or a fighter or stick to my guns as a paladin. I mean, there's just so many different ways that the game responds to your choices and the decisions that you make that every new play feels fresh. And this is coming from someone who spent an entire year only playing Act 1 during the initial early access release. I mean, you know, you would think you run out of stuff to be excited about and do, but I don't know, man. I still have a lot of fun going through Act 1 and 2 and 3, which ramp up even more as the content escalates. And I mean, we're not even talking about mods yet, which the modding support on consoles is fantastic, and I love you so very much, Larian, for helping to make sure that that came through for us. I'll have to cut it off here because I need to talk about the other games as well, but overall, I think the thing I love most about BG3 really is just the ability to go in and have a fresh take every time. Even though I've seen the story, even though I know the characters, even though I know how they make me feel, I can always try something new, and in turn, a near living world kind of reacts, and it makes me feel like it's all a brand new adventure. I love it. The second game on this list may seem a little odd in comparison to some of the other choices, but you know what? You're gonna have to stick with me because it's my comfort game list, and it's why they make me feel good and warm inside. And for the second game, I'm gonna have to go with Cyberpunk 2077 and its subsequent DLC, Phantom Liberty. For me, the thing that really does it about Cyberpunk would be the environment and atmosphere as a whole. And what I mean by that would be Night City. You see, I myself grew up in one of the largest metropolitan cities in the United States, and I love being inside of the downtown area of my city. I love the life in it all. I love hearing people. I like the smog. The pollution is great. The cars, everything. Like, the noises of the city are very natural to me. It's what I grew up with. It's what I'm used to. So getting an opportunity to play a game like Cyberpunk 2077 is phenomenal because it's like a digitized version of my life with some weird extremities attached to it. I love Night City, man. Whether it's like walking through the alleyways of Watson or driving up the coastline of Pacifica, even running amok inside of Dogtown, which is an active combat zone, is just delightful. Between parkouring and the driving, which, yeah, I get it, is not the best in gaming, but just get better. Just everything about Night City itself, its people, its fashion choices, the advertisements, it's all so fucking weird and yet so normal at the same time, considering how America as a nation is as a whole right now. I mean, a lot of times for me, Cyberpunk feels like this weird reflective lens, and I like that. I like being able to connect with the game that way. I love being in Night City. Like, genuinely, most of my playthroughs have gone like, start the game, do every side quest that isn't like directly tied to something else, get as much experience as possible, and kind of just walk around. It was not the most stable game at its initial launch, but even if you just have the base game and the DLC, it's spectacular. And much like the other games on this list, modding only makes it a trillion times better. And I would say of all the games, Cyberpunk is probably the one that I would say play on PC if you have the opportunity, but console's just fine. When it comes to PC, stuff like flying cars, driving fixes, third-person camera, those things can improve the experience from a game-playing perspective. But I think that everything that makes Night City and Cyberpunk 2077 as a setting and as a game amazing, it's already there, man. Okay, so the third game. This one is going to be a hard sell because to me, I see this game as a dress-up and rhythm game. And I don't think a lot of people are going to like that. So my third comfort game these days has become Elden Ring and Shadows of the Erdtree. And I know what you're thinking. What the fuck is your problem? Why? Is hard games? No, dude. Elden Ring is an easy game for babies. You buff, you hit something hard, you look great doing it. But just, man, it's just such an awesome adventuring experience. And that's considering that two of the games on this list are just massive. Like, Night City is no small place to be. And I mean, you have like half of the Sword Coast to walk through on Baldur's Gate, and it's pretty like contained, but you could go quite a few places in it. But Elden Ring is very, very different. One thing I mentioned during the Shadow of the Erd Tree DLC video, you should go watch that if you haven't seen it. One thing I mentioned in that video was that the verticality in the game had greatly increased with the introduction of the DLC. As I've spent the past few days playing through a strength run of Elden Ring, I really found that verticality comment is in both games, not just the one. The scale of everything is fantastic. Actually going into the forest and feeling I'm in a wooded area, or going into these massive canyons that I can't see over the top of, going through delving caves and going through castles and forts. Like it's so awesome to me because it makes me feel as though I'm living vicariously through my character inside of a storybook world. It's so very like fantasy and dragons and classic stuff that I gush over it, man. Like I've always loved the idea of like the medieval wandering knight traveling the lands and slaying monsters and doing deeds. Like that's always been like that quintessential cornerstone for me, and I think it shows in a lot of the things I do or the games I play. But Elden Ring is like the first one where I've ever like really gotten a chance to like start to finish walk a land and feel like, one, I didn't matter to it, and two, I was the most important thing on the planet. Like it's such a awesome lived in space. And at this point it's mostly like picking out fashion and also just kind of reading into lore that really keeps me engaged with Elden Ring. And that's not to say that I don't do the boss fights or PvP. I still do all of that stuff. It's fucking awesome. But what I mean is that the lore and the music, all the artistic points of the game just draw me into wanting to be in the world. And I find more often than not, I've really just been walking around like enjoying shit. Like I spent probably 2 hours yesterday in Stormvale Castle just because I wanted to get a better look around and understand more of the like Stormhill architecture and what exactly it meant when there was the greater storm that was over Stormville. Why were there so many Stormhawks, and why are they all imprisoned now, and who are the Exile Knights, and why are they covered in thorns? Like it goes exponentially very fast, and I can't help but rabbit hole every time I learn something or see something. And that's what I really love about Elden Ring, is that it just gets me thinking about the world and caring about the decisions that people made and wondering about what led a character to do something. And I know it's weird because I was like, Elden Ring's a rhythm game. I stand by that. I mean, most Souls games are rhythm based. If you can figure out the timing, spacing, and patterns, nothing can really stop you, to be honest. You could beat the game at Soul Level 1 with like a ladle. Anyway, the point is, all of these games offer me something, whether it be from an artistic appreciation level or just dressing up, that I really like. I like playing music for random people I meet around all of the acts in Baldur's Gate. I like walking around and listening to random NPC conversations throughout Night City. I adore just watching the small little interactions in Elden Ring when your character is not participating in something. So here's hoping that in the year of our great gaming 2026, I can try some new games, but I don't know, ladies and gents and folks in between. I think I'm gonna stick with my old haunts. But what do you think? Should I try some new games? Do you like any of these games as comfort games? Are they all weird? Are you just like, you have problems in your head and you like stressful games? Let me know down below. Or tell me your favorite comfort games. I'd love to hear what people play when it comes to just relaxing, because everybody's different. And I think that's one of my favorite things about this topic as a whole. Not everybody relaxes the same, but I think figuring out what it is that people like about things helps us to appreciate the things that people like a lot more. And you might make a connection with somebody who you didn't know you had a connection with in the first place. So anyway, I've rambled long enough. I still didn't really go into too much detail as to why I love all these games, and we just don't have the time. So if you want like individual dedicated videos for each game and why I love them and all that, leave a comment. You know what I mean? Let us know down below. Thank you so much for watching as always, and I'll see you in the next one.